for Flabonga Monthrothacube. With Dale and Tony breaking all the rules. Talking tech, biz, and straight up chaos. Quick fire guests, oh yeah, we slay those.
Good afternoon. My name is Dale Rodriguez, and this is Flabonga Monthrothacube. With me today, I've got my amazing guest,
Mark Costello from Meshed.
Mark. Thank you for being here today. Really appreciate you being here. Now, before I jump in and ask you lots of questions about you, your business, how you work, why you work, and where you're from, I have to give a shout out to our sponsor. So you may not know, but we've recently got a sponsor. Yeah, FM has upped its game. So our sponsor is Nomad Flow. Why do you want to work with Nomad Flow? You want to work with Nomad Flow if you have the activation gap. And it's something I experienced when I worked at a top 30 firm. If you're an accounting firm or a fintech vendor and you've purchased, you work with an accounting firm and you've got your software, and for some reason it's not being used, there is the activation gap. Nomad Flow helps solve this activation gap. So Lee Stallard has worked in practice, worked for Xero, Soldo, and some other amazing fintech companies, and he knows it from both sides. He knows it's all about change management. So you want to work with Nomad Flow if you're not getting the best out of your tech or fintech within your accounting firm, and maybe, just maybe, even for your clients. Technically, he is paying me to say that, but I think I said it pretty well, and like me. So, yeah. What do you think, Mark? Out of 10,
Sounds
like was
amazing.
that good promo?
That was a top 9.5, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Like, it didn't sound too bad. Like, Lee's got his hand up my arse, just telling me to say this stuff, right?
Well, I thought I'd seen the hand actually, but
basically, how much is my soul worth? I'm not telling you how much our sponsorship is, but it's worth this much. There we go. Sorry. Thank you for humoring me. So, Mark, first and foremost, what is Meshed?
yeah. So Meshed is a challenger insurance solution for SMEs and accountants, really, built out of 25 years in industry and frustration that the customers really aren't getting what they want. And in fact, I think that the industry has got itself into a position that customers don't even really know what good looks like.
Okay. 2 questions. What does good look like? And what do customers want? What's your prescription to them?
Okay, so what customers need first and foremost is not to be underinsured or overinsured, right? So
Okay.
depending on which one of the talking heads you speak to, Aviva, Zurich, Allianz, they've all got papers published about the systemic problem of underinsurance.
Okay.
And they reckon that between 50 and 70% of SMEs don't have the right levels of cover, which is a massive
That's a lot.
indictment on the brokers, because a broker is thinking about it through like an accountant's lens, thinking about it through an SME's lens of what they see as an accountant as, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see an accountant because I'm an SME owner. I've owned multiple companies. I see an accountant as the guy that takes care of my money and takes care of any dealings I've got with HMRC.
Yeah.
If I am an SME buying insurance, I expect the person that buys it, that I buy through, which is
a broker,
99% of the time is a broker, I expect them to make sure it's right.
You know what? That is fair, and it links to like how I feel about accountancy and outsource, right? The reason why SMEs use an accountant is because they can't necessarily afford a full-time FD, right, at 100K, 200K, whatever it might be. So you outsource it, and essentially you're hiring an outsourced employee, right? You trust them to do their job well. So the broker is the same thing. You're not going to have an in-house insurer. You're going to a broker to say, look, these are my variables, these are my business. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Go do it. Correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Sorry, just going to jump into the comments real quick. So before the show even started, Mehul had already put, good afternoon, everyone from sunny London. Mehul, thank you, man. He's a newer fan of the show, but he's here almost every week, so he's really cool. And we've got Kirsty St. John. She's been on the show as a guest. Fantastic bookkeeper. Hey, Kirsty, how's it going? Feel free to ask Mark questions, guys. Again, it's not just me. I'll ask him questions. Why is it called Meshed, by the way?
So the reason it was called Meshed is a good one. I thought about this on a sun lounger when I had sold my previous business, which was also in insurance. Insurance basically is driven by 2 or 3 things. The main one is data, right? So the underinsurance piece, that's data being wrong. There is also loads of fragmented data in the industry that just makes doing the job really hard. My idea was that if we can mesh together accountancy data into a platform that just flows through and everybody in the chain knows what's going on all the time, we can eliminate that under insurance piece. So we mesh our software into accountancy software, and it just gives the customer that better outcome.
Okay. Would you like a serious question next or a jokey question next?
I'll take either. Flip a coin.
Where are your glasses, Mark? You usually wear glasses. Where are they?
I do. I don't know. I've lost them. My wife.
Because I'm mildly concerned for your well-being. You're looking at a screen without your glasses, bro. It's not. And I say mildly concerned. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but like, I don't want you to come back and be like, "Oh, my eyesight's ruined because the yellow was too bright." I don't want any of that heat.
Do you know what? I've only been wearing specs for about 2 years, and I just can't get used to them. So I'm thinking about getting the laser thing.
Are they old age glasses? And as in you never used to wear them when you're younger, and now you've got to wear them because you're older.
Yes, that's basically it. Yeah.
I am the opposite. When I was younger, I had poor vision. Like, I think from the age of 3, I wore glasses. I exaggerate. I had laser eye surgery. It was 100% worth it for me because I got it done when I was about 25, and it's been a good, 15 years of just 20/20 vision. However, I am now getting older, and I might need glasses again, and there's nothing they can really do about it. But it's still better than when I had to wear glasses when I was younger.
Yeah, it's rubbish. It's just they're on your head all the time, and yeah. So I asked my best friend who's had spectacles since we were in junior school. I said, "How long is it going to take me to get used to wearing them and not touching the glass and getting the big smudges?" And he said, "Well, I still do that." And I was like, "Dude, that's 40 years. What are you talking about?"
I mean, I don't want to diss your friend, but that's not how it worked for me. I got very used to having glasses. Like, it's not. If he's still smudging them, he's got problems. Sorry.
He's got bigger problems than smudge glasses and truth be told.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What kind of Scottish accent do you have? Because I've learned recently there's more than one. I don't know which region you are from. All I know is you're probably not from Aberdeen because I can understand you.
Yeah. So I have got an Anglified Scottish accent. I lived in London for 12 years and then Cheshire for about 5. Okay. So my accent is definitely not where it was when I was in my 20s. When I moved to London at first, anytime I went home, like Christmas and stuff, I'd come back after the break and people were like, sorry, what the fuck did you just say?
No, fair enough. So where are you originally from?
Just outside of Glasgow, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a dumb question. I think I know the answer already. Of the 2 cities that are most famous in Scotland, which are Glasgow and Edinburgh, but you know the answer already.
It's not even a competition, right? So
why is it better? Because like I've been to both.
The people are better. That's the bottom line, right? So Elle, who you've met, who works for me, thinks this is hilarious, right? But I think all of those cobbled street towns, so York, Edinburgh, Bath, they're all just the same bloody thing, right? It's just novelty shops and Glasgow's got character.
Okay. Because I would argue Edinburgh has character. Like, it's a very weird, dense and heavy city. Like, the architecture is just like, it feels strong. That makes sense?
Yeah. So, but have you been to Glasgow?
Yeah, I've been to Glasgow. Had a great time.
So Glasgow's got phenomenal Victorian architecture, right? So Glasgow was a big hub in the Industrial Revolution, and lots of money flowed into the city then. It's got beautiful old buildings. And Glasgow has got a reputation because of 50, 60 years ago, maybe a violent place. It's not like that at all. I never feel intimidated in Glasgow.
So I went about 5 or 6 years ago, and you're right. The reputation is what it was 50, 60 years ago. And I did some research on it because I'm lame like this. Glasgow did amazing, going into politics a little bit here, amazing social reform on knife crime and all that stuff. And how they nipped it in the bud was doing it at earlier stages. Not longer prison sentences, not trying to punish people. They educated people from the age of like 5 and 6 and said like, and they looked at the social problems, right? They looked at like 2-parent homes, all this other stuff that like sits around it, and that's how they changed it. So I'm a big proponent and big up Glasgow for changing the way they were viewed by the rest of the world. So yeah,
they also had done an amazing job of tackling homelessness. So you don't see homeless people in Glasgow. You just don't. They're not there. Whereas And I know that London, you probably don't see it, but Manchester, because I lived outside Manchester for a while, it's endemic, the homelessness in Manchester. It's wild.
Yep. I mean, we live in a country where, in theory, it shouldn't happen, right?
No,
Just
it's not in theory, right? It just shouldn't happen.
how affluent we are as a society and nation, and the resources we have, it shouldn't happen.
No,
Going to change the conversation a little bit. Again, ask you again, do you want a serious or a jokey question?
you choose.
If you're a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be that accurately portrays your personality and why? But don't just pick your favorite biscuit. I've asked you this before, by the way.
Oh, God.
It's okay, man. Take your time.
Yeah, I'll take my time.
I mean, don't take too long, because for people who aren't watching, this makes for terrible radio.
A Foxy's Classic.
You know what? That's what you said last time.
Was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I love a
What-
Foxy's Classic.
How does
'cause
that
it's
portray your
smooth.
personality?
I mean, I'm smooth, right?
Are you? Are you? Like, you're not wearing your glasses and you don't look like Superman. That's all I'm saying. Right.
Yeah. A Foxy's Classic is a great biscuit, and it's crunchy. And am I
So-
crunchy? I don't know if I'm crunchy either.
I don't know. I mean, this is not the best blind date answer.
So, what biscuit would you be?
Huh? That's neither
What
here
is-
nor there, Mark. This is all about you and how awesome you
Oh.
are. Okay, I will answer a question if you answer me another question. So I assume you are married.
I am
How long have you been married?
8.5 years.
Would Mrs. Costello agree with your assessment that you're a smooth biscuit?
I mean, Mrs. Costello would not agree with that. No.
Cool. We should have her on next. Anyway, let me answer your question because you asked me back. So I have been asking the biscuit question for a good 10, 15 years. There's a story behind the biscuit question. I'll tell you another time. It's kind of long. My answer used to be that I was a rich tea biscuit, until a friend of mine pointed out they're not a very good dunking biscuit. They're a bit flimsy when they get wet, and I don't want to be a soggy biscuit. Who wants to be a soggy biscuit? So I changed my answer to a hobnob, not a chocolate hobnob, just a standard hobnob, because they are a no-frills biscuit. They're not in your face like a party ring, but they're not boring like a digestive. Most people, if they see like a hobnob at the bottom of the tin, they're like, I'll go for the hobnob. No one's beefing with the hobnob.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a biscuit guy.
Oh, I don't eat biscuits at all. I don't usually eat carbohydrates either, but
Yeah.
thank you for humoring me. All right. What are the myths around AI? This is two questions in one. What are the myths around AI and insurance that you'd like to dispel, like the top 2 or 3 from both sides?
Right. Okay. So the first one.
Hold on, wait. Let's lean in for this. There we go. We're getting serious.
Yeah, the first one around insurance. People think that car insurance is a rip-off. Motor insurers don't make any money ever, or very rarely.
Okay.
It's such a difficult thing to do, motor insurance. Really difficult. And people think that that they're being ripped off. They just aren't. They can't make money because claims now, you know, it used to be years ago, you reversing in a car park, bump your back bumper, there's a dent in it, they go and polish it out, bum, job done. Now there's so many sensors and whatever, even those tiny claims cost £5,000, right? So that's the thing I'd like to dispel about that. Now, EI is where you will really get me excited.
Okay.
People think that EI can just be plugged and played. Utter bullshit, right? I have got fantastic engineers inside my business, and I mean top level engineers, guys that are so smart that I'm slightly embarrassed just to make eye contact with them, right? And it takes forever to build good solid AI. If you think that there's some tool that you can buy and plug into your current workflow and you're going to be 20% more efficient, you're going to be very, very disappointed.
All right. Okay. That's 2 tidbits of information. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Meshed seem to work very closely with bookkeepers and accountants. Why is this?
2 things. Accountants and bookkeepers are... so I'm going to say something controversial here. I don't think accountants and bookkeepers actually understand their true value. I think most SME owners, having been one, they trust their accountant and their bookkeeper with their life, right? And
Mhm.
not only that, but they understand that business in some ways better than what the founder of that business does, because they can see, because they get to see the patterns around so many businesses. They
Mhm.
get to see what's good and bad, right? And probably that they're learning by osmosis, but they can just smell good and bad, right?
Yep.
And what we want to do is integrate with accountants, because we want our product to be meshed into theirs. Boom, boom.
Ah.
And that is where we can drive real value for our customers. So we work with loads of accountants. I'll give a shout out to some. Lara, love you. The guys at Goodings, love you.
As in,
There's
sorry, Lara
loads.
Manton.
The only Lara, right?
She's been on the show as well. It's great. Do you
yeah.
know what she tried to do? She tried to pronounce the name of the show, and she didn't do it quite well, but it was fun, and I clipped it up
I
because
mean, she had a go at it, right?
I mean, you haven't had a go at it yet, Mark.
I am not having a go at it, right?
Oh, why not, Mark? I believe in you, Mark. I believe in you.
Yes. I'll have a go at the end, right?
All right.
So, accountants are uniquely positioned to really give customers what they want. But
Yep.
I think that accountants are also cautious by nature because of what they do. So
Yep.
we appreciate that we need to move our cadence at their pace, and we need to build that trust, and
Yep.
we need to deliver every single time. So for us, and by the way, we've been doing that. So again, just to shout out to some other accountants, I don't know if you know Jonathan Vowles. We saved him like 50% of his cost and his insurance. He's just done a testimonial for us.
Oh,
So
wow. That's a hefty amount.
That's the recurring theme, 40-50% every single time we speak to them. And not even just getting them better pricing. We're actually tweaking the cover because we're spending the time to get to know them and not just sticking it through a sausage machine.
Although I do like sausages, though.
I love a sausage.
On the barbecue.
As opposed to a biscuit.
Yeah, ditto. I'm a meat guy. When you're on the barbecue, if you had the choice between the burger and the sausage, what are we going for?
Can I say both?
You can say both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's a burger. I don't know why. I think it's because burgers I only really eat from a barbecue, whereas sausages I still have them for breakfast.
Do you buy the burgers or do you make the burgers?
I buy the burgers, but I am a barbecue snob. Hear me out. I go to a place called Marchants of Betherston. It's a village that's maybe 10 miles outside of my town, and it's a butcher's that just does exquisite meat. So whenever I have a barbecue, it's good stuff. It's their burgers, so they're baked burgers, but they're like.
I live in an old farm surrounded by dairy and brown farmers. So the beef that I get is right off of farms. It is sensational. Yeah, but I still make my own burgers because I like getting quite a lot of parmesan into my burger.
Yeah.
Because it acts like a bonding agent, the same way as breadcrumbs does, but it gives it a nicer finish.
Fair enough. Have you ever eaten dairy cow meat? Because it's something that we don't normally consume because they usually die of old age. But I've eaten it. It's an acquired taste. I like it.
Oh, I like it a lot.
Like it's a very strong, beefy flavor. Like if you like dry aged steak, you can get a dairy cow that's got that flavor on it because it's an older cow.
Yes.
And it's a so last time I had it, I had some dairy cow beef ribs. Oh my days.
Yeah, we can also get raw milk off the farmers as well.
Oh, we like unpasteurized, fresh, all them nutrients in their milk, and it tastes 10 times different, doesn't it? It tastes like 10 times better.
So I've got twins that are 2.5, and they still have milk at night, and you've got to shake this stuff just to get it out the bottle. It's that thick.
It's got that creamy, nutrient dense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you've got twins. How many kids do you have?
3 kids, 3 daughters.
Yep. Which one's your favorite?
Evelyn.
Didn't even hesitate. Mark, you know
she's ditched me. Like she says that she doesn't love me anymore, and she loves her mum.
You know the internet is forever, right? And I'm going to put this online. Like this, she's going to see this at some point in her life, maybe a couple of years' time. Her dad's saying that about her.
It's the other 2, right? But yeah.
So is Evelyn the oldest?
No, Evelyn's one of the twins. So.
Oh, that's a burn. That's a burn.
Oh, the other
Fantastic.
one's a sociopath, right? So, like, she'll be in jail by the time she's on the internet anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Well, jail or prime minister. There's no in between, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's enjoy the silence for a moment. Also, it gives me time to think of questions. All right. What advice would you give to a younger person who wants to get into either fintech/AI or the insurance space? So I'm talking like a 17, 18-year-old.
Say yes to everything.
Okay.
You get a job, say yes to everything. And don't wait to be asked. Volunteer. That's what I've always done my whole career. When I was and ask the questions. And probably I think you should get sacked at some point in your life, right? I don't think you graduate till you've been dumped and sacked.
Do you mean sacked as in like for being incompetent, or do you mean made redundant? Because there's two differences. There's two differences.
No, being made redundant is just part of a process. I mean, being sacked, right? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'm glad he appeared because I was going to mention him, by the way. Someone in the comments, Mark Cowison, long-time friend of the show, LHR Marine. Is it LHR or LRH? Mark, put it in the comments. He's our incumbent Scotsman. Basically, he's been on the show like 2 or 3 times, and you can see he's written it in non-English.
On yourself. Yeah. Very good. How you doing, Mark? We should meet up.
You guys would actually definitely get along. Like, having met you both, like, yeah, you get on. There's one episode where, like, basically I came on live and the guest didn't turn up. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to do it alone. I'll monologue for like 5-10 minutes. I should never do that again. No one should ever hear me monologue. It's terrible. That's why I have guests. But Mark's like, I see this happening. And he jumped on and he saved the show with his just general funness and insights. He also taught me how to drink whiskey the correct way.
Yeah.
On the show.
No ice.
I can't remember if he said no ice, but he talked about like how you're supposed to smell it first and like how it opens up your nasal factors and aphillary senses. Then you have a little sip, and then like you're telling me the rules of how to actually sip whiskey and taste it if you're going to taste it.
Honestly, if I see somebody putting ice into a nice malt whiskey, it's worse than offending my mother.
Oh, okay. Is it worse than this? Because my friend did this when we went to Glasgow. He asked for a full English breakfast.
Oh,
and I was like, bro, do you know where we are?
Oh.
But this is the best part. So I said, can I have a Scottish breakfast? The guy's like, yeah, cool. My friend asked for a full English, got dirtiest looks ever. Here's the best part. My other friend asked for a Scottish breakfast, then asked for like 2 things to be removed and 1 thing added. Essentially got a full English because it was like, and they were fine with it. Like he was clever about it.
Did he ask for the square sausage to be removed?
I can't remember what he asked to be removed. I think he had the sausage, but like he asked for a few things to be removed. And essentially what he got was a full English, but he hadn't said the words full English, so it was okay. Do you know what I mean? Like he essentially had a full English, but just asked for a few substitutions.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's not a good look in Glasgow.
So what's worse, whiskey, ice in the whiskey, or asking for a full English in Glasgow?
Oh, the ice in the whiskey. It's just appalling behaviour. It's vile.
Really? Because I've heard different opinions on this.
Technically, be a crime against humanity. That.
Okay. Okay. If you weren't going to drink Scottish whiskey, which other nation's whiskey would you recommend?
None.
Come on! Don't be like that. Come on, because I'm learning about the whiskey ways, and I've had some pretty tasty Japanese whiskies.
They're all right. So I am very much. I've virtually never drink anymore, right? But I do. I'm accountancy firm in Glasgow, WBG Group, used to be Wiley Bissett. They have a whiskey club, and it's called the 118. That happens once a month. I go to that every month. Another amazing accountancy firm, and I drink at that. So you get all different distilleries coming in, but or bottlers. I mean, it's a complex industry, the whiskey industry. I typically like anything from Islay, but nothing else.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say something that might upset / hurt your whiskey ways. Are you familiar with Lafroig whiskey?
Oh, it's my favourite, yeah.
It's one of the smokiest, ashiest whiskies of all time. I sometimes use it in my barbecue marinade when I marinate chicken.
Oh, that might work, yeah.
I know it's a waste of good tasty whiskey, but like if you're grilling and you put it in the sauce, the homemade sauces I make in marinades, the flavour that comes out of it is exquisite. I don't use a ton. It might be like half a tumbler full, depending on how much chicken I'm using. So not a ton of it, but it's a very strong flavour, and it adds a little bit of sweetness to it as well, which is
yeah. Cool. How long do you marinate for?
Usually overnight minimum.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? It's got to
Yeah.
be.
And the reason why I do it, that's how my mum and dad showed me. there's no science to it. It's like that's how my granny did it. That's how they do it. That's how I do it.
The problem in Scotland, though, is marinating the night before is
Yeah.
predicated on it not raining the next day.
Yes,
But
yes.
if it rains, I just get my brolly, do the barbecue anyway, and then
Yeah. See,
done.
I knew we'd get along, Mark, because I'm the same. Like, I grill at Christmas time. In fact, I made it a tradition. I grill the turkey on my smoker. So I spatchcock it, I brine it, then I marinate it. Then there's a dry rub that goes on it, low and slow for like 9 hours on the smoker, cherry wood smoked, and it's the only way I'm ever eating turkey again because the rest of the turkey is trash.
So I've been getting my garden landscapes. I've not been able to grill anything, but somebody got me for my birthday this Japanese grill that's like a box.
Okay.
You've seen this?
I don't
And it's got
know.
the charcoal lasts forever. So you put
Mm.
the charcoal in, you light it cooks, you then take it out, dunk it in a bucket of water, and then it's reusable.
Huh. I've never seen or
I'll
heard of that
send
before.
you a link for it.
Please do. Oh man, Tony's missing out. Like so the reason why Tony and I became friends is because we started talking about barbecue on LinkedIn. That's the thing that binds us, and he's not here today. So like, all right. So what is your signature barbecue dish, Mark Costello? What is your go-to showing off? Got some friends, family, or new people over, and you're like, I assume it's gonna be meat. I assume.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I'll probably do a platter. I'll always do steaks. I'll always do lamb chops. I'll always do sausage burgers. Yeah.
Talk dirty to me, man. Sorry. Okay. If
But I
you could
think
eat,
the key to a good barbecue is the salad, right? Getting the salads good.
you're messing with me.
People in the UK fuck up salads, right? Salads.
That's because I could not care less about salad.
Oh no,
Vegetables
salad.
taste like sadness, Mark.
Is it?
Sorry, I interrupted you. Please tell us why salad is helpful to barbecue.
Well, because if you've got this amazing meat and then the salad is a bit of lettuce with the evil in it, then that's just disgusting.
So my philosophy is just don't bother with salad or bread. They're empty stomach. There's
I
waste of valuable stomach space.
I don't bother with the bread. Yeah, I don't bother with the bread. Yeah.
Gonna jump into the comments real quick. Debbie Hales, longtime friend of the show. She's been on 3 times, I think. I've arrived in time. No, 2 times. I've arrived in time for a full English, it seems. Ha ha, Debbie. Very funny. Mark Howson coming in hot with the comments. Lafroig is made by burning a garden shed, then blending the remains and placing them in a mash tun.
Yeah.
Fact.
That is a fact, yeah.
Is that actually true?
You've got to go to Islay if you've
Yeah?
not been to Islay. It is a
Okay.
sensational place. It is.
Okay.
Now, it's changed, right? But 20 odd years ago, like you could go to Islay, get smashed, and just drive about the distilleries, right? Like there's nobody to hit, there's nobody. Yeah. And so I went when I was about 21 for the first time, and we were like waking up the next day going, how did we even get here? And the car.
Sorry, James Sundin, a Scottish man talking about salad. What the actual fuck? Oh, Sundin, you're a good one. You're a good one.
Yes.
Sorry, Mark, you were saying, so you're going to go to Islay, you could drive around back in the day.
You get smashed out your mind and drink lots of whiskey. It's a stunning island. It is stunning. I mean, imagine James Sundin criticising anybody else. He's a Geordie.
Look, you're all northerners to me. I don't care. Fight amongst yourselves. Don't care. Mark Howson, I think he's actually asking a business question. Does Mesh do business van insurance? Oh, do you mind if I try and answer this?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I try? See if I understood your value proposition. My understanding, Mark Howson, is that Mesh is kind of like a virtual broker. So the idea is you can put in the input and data, and it will source from AA providers, all the good ones, a solution for your business. So does Mesh do van insurance? Probably not. But if you work with Mesh, they could find you an insurer for your company. Have I got that right, Mark?
That's spot on. Yeah.
Again, he didn't pay me to say that. That's just me trying to show off that I know stuff. So yes, can Mesh help you with your van insurance? They can. If you do use them though, maybe Mark on the show now, not Mark Howson, can help me with like a little kickback because that was some great promo.
Yeah, I'll buy you a burger.
Or, hear me out, a bottle of whiskey.
That might work. Yeah.
A mid-range one. I'm not saying like a 200 quid bottle. I'm talking like a 70 quid bottle of whiskey maybe.
Yeah, that works.
Cool. I'm okay with this. Oh, one of my favorites by the way is one called the Antiquary. It's a not a single malt, but very, very tasty.
There is beautiful blends out there. Do you know who kicked off the single malt revolution? Take a guess.
Some rich English dude, I assume.
No, it was an Italian.
Really?
It was
Please
an Italian.
elaborate.
It was an Italian who'd been making really fancy bottles for brandy, right? These exquisite bottles. And he came to Scotland because at that time people just drank blends, right?
Yeah.
And he came and he looked at it and he goes and he tasted the singles before they got blended and he went, "Why are you mixing this stuff? Just sell it like that." But if you join things like the Malt Whisky Society, or there's an amazing business called Bevy from Edinburgh. Big shout out to the boys at Bevy, amazing guys. You also get now what you get is mixers. So they buy barrels from the distilleries and then they create one-off sort of, maybe 400 bottles, 500 bottle runs, which is amazing. There's also I seem to know loads of people in the whiskey industry. So I was nominated for the EY Entrepreneur of the Year about 4 years ago, and there's two lads from Scotland own a business.
Sorry, let me interrupt there. Did you just do a little humble brag? I was Entrepreneur of the Year a couple of years ago. Did you just say that? Did I hear that correctly?
I didn't win. I was shortlisted.
Yeah, but do you know how many other people weren't nominated? Most of us. So take the credit where it's due, man. Take the credit. Go on.
You know what? For a big firm like EY, they do a really good job on that thing. I've made friends for life out of that. It was brilliant.
Good. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying.
Yeah, what was this? Yeah, so they own a business called Whiskey Hammer, and they do auctions. And it's a fascinating subject matter. This whiskey, it really is.
Question from Debbie Hales. I think it's a sarcastic one, but I'll read it anyway. Is meshed a mistype of mashed after getting smashed?
No, Debbie, but it could have been.
It could have been.
What meshed is so this is me getting into pitch mode, which I said I wouldn't do.
Just so you know, if you do it for longer than 30 seconds, I'm just going to mute your mic. So drop.
Yeah, that's fine. So the idea is that under endurance is a real problem in the market, and our idea is that we mesh our product in with accountancy data, which means that we can make sure customers get accurate cover. It's as simple as that. The idea came to me on a sun lounger, on holiday, 6 weeks after I sold my last business.
First of all, that was less than 30 seconds. Good job. Before we jump on you exiting and being on a sun lounger, I want to go back a couple of steps to barbecue to ask you a silly question. Mark, I assume you eat meat?
Yes.
If you had to eat one meat/animal for the rest of your life, forsaking all others, which animal are you choosing? And to frame it again, if you choose beef, yeah, you can have steak, you can have burgers and spaghetti bolognese, but you can never have chicken nuggets. If you choose chicken, again, you're never having spaghetti bolognese, and so on and so forth. Which animal are you choosing? Not as that cut, just the animal itself.
Oh, chicken doesn't even hit the roster, right? It doesn't. It's beef or it's pork, and it's probably beef. When I was younger, I would have said pork, but now beef, I think, yeah.
I used to say chicken until someone reasoned with me. I was like, you actually get more variety out of beef.
Yeah.
Like certain steaks aren't the same. Again, spaghetti bolognese, oxtail.
Man. But where I live, right, you can get pheasant and grouse, and you get it's just everywhere. All of the farm shops around me sell pheasant and grouse. It's cheap as chips, and it's much better than chicken.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I don't have that around me, but it sounds tantalizing. All right, time for a serious question. You mentioned you exited your business. So before Mesh, can you give a bit of career history? Yes, we can look on your LinkedIn profile, but just for the sake of the show,
I don't think my LinkedIn profile is that up to date, right? I was never.
Let's give it a quick review, shall we? Let's do it now. Let's have a look. Mark Costello. Well, first of all, you're wearing your glasses in your display picture, so that's a important thing. You are wearing a Mesh t-shirt. Cover tomorrow. Nice. Let's go back a step.
Tomorrow.
Sales director. Sales leader. Head of legal schemes. Career break. All right. Steady on. CEO of Tavio. Sorry, I'm just reading out your LinkedIn profile now. Please tell us about your career history.
Yeah, so I graduated, had no idea what I was going to do with a degree in history at Desmond, of all things.
Toot toot, baby. Sorry.
And applied for stuff, got a graduate role at RSA, went there, went to work for a broker in Edinburgh after my graduate programme finished. Realised that London is the epicentre of the world as far as insurance is concerned.
Mhm.
So moved to London, have always done either product development or distribution. That's basically what I've done my whole career. So building products to sell and then taking them to market and distributing them. That's what I've always done.
Cool.
Yeah, which is it's been an interesting career. Moving to London was an eye opener. I absolutely hated it for 6 months, despised it.
Why
And
did you
then
hate it?
Oh, well, I mean, I come from a small town and a very small town I mean, it's a village basically in Scotland. I then moved to Glasgow, the big lights, to go to uni,
Yep.
and then ended up in London. And I was just like, what is going on here? This place is chaos. I mean, I lived there for a long, long time, and I still get lost, right? It's yeah, it was just overwhelming and daunting. But then I got to meet, and obviously you get this as a student as well, but I got to meet people from every corner of the globe, and that
Mhm.
really appealed to me. I love variety in life.
So was it you meeting other people that kind of flipped the script on London? Like you weren't enjoying it for a couple of months and then you met some people and it made it
Yeah,
kind of
and
come
then
together?
started building, and then I got a flat in Greenwich, and then my mate moved in with me in my flat in Greenwich. We realised we were the only British native people in this whole block of 200 flats. And there was
Yeah.
Swedes and there was Germans and Americans and Canadians, Australians, Africans, everything. And
Yep.
that block of flats became like my entry gateway to networking in London. And then I just grew to love the place.
Also, with all those different cultures, I imagine there was delicious food being cooked at all times.
Oh, amazing. I mean, London is an amazing place for food. It really is. Just
Yep.
amazing.
Speaking of food, we have to talk beverages. Now, this is a question that my co-host Tony usually asks, and in honor of his memory, he's moving house right now, he's not dead. I'll ask the question. So first and foremost, the question used to be about coffee, but it's branched in the last few months. Hot beverage of choice. Are you doing tea, coffee, or hot chocolate?
Black coffee always.
Okay. So the premise of the question is this. When you drink your coffee and you're out and about, you usually have your favorite place to go. If it's in your local town, it's probably like an artisanal place, a coffee shop, independent or semi-independent, small coffee house. Great. However, if you're out and about and you can't find somewhere like this, of the big chains, I think there's 5. I think it was Starbucks, Nero, Costa, Greg's is on that actually as well somehow, and Pret. Of those 5, which one will you choose if you have to go and you can't find your usual good spot?
From those 5, Pret.
Mhm.
But I think McDonald's coffee is actually better than any of the big 5.
You're one who knows. We've had this come up a few times. Yes, for the price point, it's actually pretty decent. And even if it were more expensive, it's actually pretty decent.
I don't care about the price point when it comes to coffee, right? Like, so you asked what my favorite local coffee shop is.
Yep.
It's my kitchen. I've got a Sage coffee machine, and I buy my beans from an Italian deli in Glasgow, and I wouldn't buy coffee out with in my home anywhere nearby. Black Sheep has now came into the fore. I don't know if you've had a Black Sheep.
I've had Black Sheep. Yep, they're getting bigger.
Coffee. Awful food. Awful food.
So one that I recommend is called Watch House. They're growing it in London, starting in New York, and this is the care that they take. Right, all of their shops, their coffee houses have filters on their water taps. Right, when you drink their espresso and have a sip of the water tastes nicer because they filtered it in a certain way, which I think is a lot of care and attention to detail on how the coffee should actually work. So Watch House, one to watch.
Scottish water is tremendous stuff, right? Like that's one of the things that I most enjoyed about moving back to Scotland.
Yeah, like the minerals and the flavour and the.
I could just do that with the tap and drink the water, and it's delicious. We live in London, right? So
yeah, it's been processed many times.
Yeah. Do you know what really grinds my gears? And if Elle's watching this, she'll know what I'm going to say next. Matcha. Nobody really likes matcha. They're just saying they like it because they think it's hip.
I have a colleague who loves matcha. Feel free to
They
debate her
don't.
on this at some point.
No chance. She doesn't really like it. Nobody. It's like avocado. Nobody really likes avocado, right?
No, I love avocado.
Yeah, you don't.
I
You
do.
don't.
Hear me out, all right? I can't comment on matcha because I don't particularly like it. First of all, I think there's different grades of matcha, and the matcha we get here isn't actually a very good grade. Second of all, avocado. I think most people don't eat avocado properly. Hear me out. If you have to use a sharp knife to cut your avocado, the avocado is not ripe. That's why you don't like
Yes.
avocado.
You should be able
If
to
it's
just
if you should be able to peel it with your hands, right?
Yeah.
And if
yeah,
you eat it that
just-
way, that's when you get the full flavor of the avocado. So I think most people actually eat unripe avocados. That's why it tastes terrible. A ripe avocado is delicious and nutritious and full of good fats.
I know it's healthy.
Wait, do you know what? How are you going to put avocado on blast when you're talking about salads at a barbecue? Jog on.
Yeah, well, well, wait a minute. But how do you have avocado at a barbecue if you think?
I don't have avocado at barbecue. We're talking about me liking avocado in general,
So what do you have avocado with?
just for shits and giggles.
Shits and giggles.
I usually eat a ketogenic diet, so it's one of the vegetables I can have because it's quite fatty.
Yes, I eat them as well. I don't enjoy it. I eat Greek yogurt. I don't enjoy that either. But you get to a certain age, you've got to do stuff just for health.
Well, we're not quite in the same age bracket, are we? Like I
No,
think you're a
bit
smidge
younger
older
than
than me.
I.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
tease you about your age because you're not that much older than me, but like it's just a smidge, like a fraction. We can calculate it by looking at LinkedIn and when you went to uni, when you graduated. We can do that another time. All right. You have been a really great guest. Don't worry, we're not leaving just yet. Usually I do this close to the end, but I'll do it now. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, how do you pronounce the name of the show?
Flabonga Monthrothacube.
And where the hell?
Flabonga
Where did that come from?
When I first started doing these, it was literally just ad hoc with people I knew on LinkedIn. I had no name, no brand, and a good friend of mine called Nick Smethurst. He's not actually on LinkedIn anymore. He was quite prolific a couple of years ago, but he's just kind of just wound it down. I had him on. I was like, hey man, what should I name the show? If I'm going to brand it, what should I call it? And we were on a stream like this, and off the top of his he went, Flabonga Monthrothacube. He's a Mancunian. That was my terrible accent. And I went, the fuck does that mean? And he went, nothing, just made it up. And I went, okay. That's how it came about. It means nothing. Literally nothing.
I thought it was Greek, maybe. Something.
No.
Yeah.
It's absolute gibberish that some crazy Mancunian made up.
Yeah. So, have I got any serious questions for you? Yeah.
Sure.
So, if you were setting up any business that you wanted to work with accountants going forward, no, that's the wrong way of framing it. What's the one piece of advice, having been on both? Have you been on both sides of that transaction? Been there?
I've never been on the fintech side. I've always been the one batting away fintech suppliers.
Yeah. So what's the one thing that you would say to some fintech supplier coming into accountancy market, the most important thing they have to do to begin with?
Do you mean I have to ask a question?
The product ought to be good, right? Just assume the product.
No, the product's good. I'm going to make a presumption on your question. Are you asking me, presuming that they want to be successful in the industry, right?
Yes.
Don't just assume or try and sell through accountants and bookkeepers. Like, you have to have a sales strategy where there's some direct sales where you need to go to the end users without bypassing the accountants, because that will piss them off, right? But don't just think, I've got an amazing product, to give it to the accountant and off they go. That will never work. I've seen people try it. And the reason why it won't work is this. Accountants are very good at what they do. They spend years training, qualifying, and then like learning to drive a car, get better and better and better, right? That's what they're paid for. And they do that. And they've only got so many hours in a day. They haven't got time to sell your shit. Don't expect them to sell your shit. Sorry, shit's not the wrong. It might be the best thing. It might be the best fintech ever, but they don't have time. Right? And you might go, but if they use my tech solution, they will have them. No, that's not their main primary function or purpose. You need to come alongside them, supplement what they do, and again, have a model where you're doing some direct sales, so you've got cash flow plumbing through, but don't expect them to drop everything to just sell your amazing product. Don't.
100% agree with that. Actually, I've got something for you. Not a question, it's an observation. Have you seen the stupid thing? Is it Starling Bank have come out and said that they've built this accountancy thing? Have you seen this?
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I'm not surprised the bank hasn't. Bank's done something like that. Yes, yeah.
I mean, banks are idiots, right? Like, I mean, they've tried insurance, they've made an arse of that. They ended up with payment protection claims still going on, right?
Yeah.
They've done it with ripping off people with car finance. I hate banks, right? I just despise them.
Yeah.
But like, to think that you can come along and build some software and replace an accountant, good luck with that. I seen Dave Selleck, who's another top lad. Love Dave. Like, Dave is on a man mission to rip the piss out of these people that say that they've built an accountant. There was some American saying they built a CFO. They're not saying it's tools to help a CFO. It is a CFO.
Yep.
So you're a 45-year-old guy or woman running a business. Your head's on fire. You're going to rely on a piece of software to tell you that what you've done with your tax is legitimate. I don't think that's going to happen, right? Let's just call it what it is. AI and software can make an accountant 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 times more efficient over time. Not tomorrow, over time. It will never replace what people buy from people. And people who buy services because they don't have the knowledge to do it themselves.
Yep, and I'm going to reiterate a point I made on the Meshed podcast when I appeared. When is that going live, by the way? Has that gone live yet? I don't know. Anyway, that's not the point. I genuinely believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't understand insurance. AI will never replace people, well, not never, will unlikely replace people in the near future for the purposes of liability. And hear me out. This is a scenario I imagine in my head. I, Dale, build an AI tool. I have a limited company and I sell through my limited company and I go, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Insurer, please insure my business. And I make the bold claim that my tool can replace an accountant and I'm going to ask for 100% of the liability. The insurer will go, no way, Jose. You need someone ACCA qualified to sign it off to make sure it's right. And until that happens, you're never going to remove the person because no insurer is going to risk the full liability of an AI giving advice and getting it wrong. Now, that might change in 20 years' time when someone can prove it consistently, but it's very unlikely. Very unlikely.
And in actual fact, the only thing that's stopping autonomous vehicles
is liability.
Is liability.
Liability. No, because and taking it back a step, I, as the person who's created the AI, probably doesn't want to take full liability. I wouldn't. And even if I asked and said I could, and no insurer is going to insure me with full liability for the responsibility or the effect of my AI. That's why you're always going to need a person for accounting and bookkeeping.
For everything, really, right? Like, nobody is ever going to accept liability. And in actual fact, forget AI. We still haven't figured out who's liable on social media platforms.
I'm just going to go there. Yep. No, you're right.
And that's been going on for 20 years now, right? That's not new.
Yep.
So if they're not figured that out yet, they're never going to get there.
Going into politics slightly, people have views on different papers and media establishments. I'll use the BBC as an example. It may or may not have a political leaning. That's not important. But what you can trust with the BBC and other outlets that are slightly more prestigious is someone's name is on it. And if they say something wrong, someone's getting sued or fired.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. That's why you can trust it to some degree. Bias or not, it's going to be somewhat factual.
I'm a big believer in the BBC. I think it's a fantastic organisation. And I'll tell you why the BBC works. Because everybody that's left-leaning thinks it's right-leaning, and everybody that's right-leaning thinks it's left-leaning. And that is exactly how you walk the line of impartiality.
Ooh, is it impartial, though? That's the question.
Well, that's my point, right? Both people at either side of a spectrum think it's leaning the other direction.
Yeah, no, you're right. Anyway, I said we wouldn't go into politics, and we did, so apologies for that. Do I have any other silly questions? Oh, yeah, here's a good one. Mark, let's get this one clipped up as well, by the way. Mark, if you could slap or punch one fictional character in the face and get away with it, no repercussions, no judgment, who are you slapping or punching? Fictional character.
Mickey Mouse.
Sorry?
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not a fighter, right? If I'm going to punch somebody, I'm going to punch somebody that I think there's a good chance they won't punch me back.
That is a brilliant answer. Thank you for humouring me. Before we round this off, because I think this is a good time to kind of stop. Is there anyone left in the comments or chat? We'll give them like a 2 minutes because a 2-minute delay. Have you got any questions for Mark? Not for me. I'll ask a question all the time. Ask Mark some questions about insurance, AI, fintech. Is anyone questions for Mark specifically, or if we're asking some personal questions, he may answer those. He might not.
I'll answer anything.
Well, you don't have to. You're under no obligation. Debbie made a comment, linked to the question you asked me earlier, and I'll jump into that. Get the client to sell to the accountants. Again, yeah, it kind of works. I'll back up what I said before about selling through accountants. It's because I'm an old-fashioned salesperson, right? And I genuinely believe direct sales is the best method for any sale. Anytime you add a layer of complexity or someone else trying to sell your product for you, it takes and adds more time or risks diluting the message. That's my general thought on sales.
100%. Yeah. I agree with that. Like, it's we don't ask anybody to sell anything on our behalf. What we ask accountants to do is go, look, show them the facts, and if they want to speak to us, they can speak to us.
That's the best way to do it. So yeah,
like, because we go to the accountant and go, well, we've saved you 50%. Why don't you introduce it to your customers? All you need to tell them is that we'll do everything else.
Yep. Right. I think everyone's gone to get lunch. There's been no comments or questions. So Mark, I'm going to hit end stream. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate being here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Dale.
Please come again sometime.